there, friends. Welcome to Tuesday Study. My name is Dwain, and today we are looking at the city of Corinth itself. Now, I've mentioned to you that this city had two bustling harbors, which made it quite influential in terms of commerce. But Corinth also had some other stuff. Corinth by day was a bustling metropolis and people trading and stuff. Corinth by night was crazy. I mean, there were temples everywhere to all kinds of gods. Aphrodite, some of the gods mentioned, Athena, Apollo, all of these deities, and there was temple prostitution. There were prostitutes who just plied their trade in the temples. It was a free for all in terms of morality, and sexual immorality was rampant in this city. It's interesting that God would choose to put a church right in this city. Sometimes, we want the church to run away. We want the church to run away and hide. But that's not what the scripture suggests. The scripture suggests that God plants his people sometimes in the middle of the most debauched societies, that we might be lights to them. And that's what Paul is really getting at in this book. He wants God's people to really be the people of God. So Acts 18, 1-3, he gets there and he hooks up with Priscilla and Aquila. They're making tents to support themselves. But Paul's real focus is the proclamation of the gospel of Jesus Christ. 1 Corinthians chapter 5, verses 9-11 tells us this. I did not at all mean that you should not associate completely with immoral people. Paul says, listen, in some of his counsel, he told them, listen, don't be hanging around with people who are immoral. But Paul says, now, if you misunderstood that, or you take that the wrong way, then you got to go out of the world, because these people are everywhere on the planet, right? They're all around us. He said, but no, if someone claims to be a believer, if someone claims to be a follower, if someone claims to be your brother, well, that person, what Paul is saying, don't associate with them if they are committing sexual immorality. So he says, neither swindler, nor covetous person, nor an idolater, nor a reviler, nor a drunkard. He's saying we've got to live in a circumspect way that makes clear who we are. And that means we cannot tolerate, even though we seek to win people, it's a powerful principle, even though we seek to win people to Jesus Christ, we cannot simply associate ourselves with sin and not be untainted or untouched by indulging it, right? 1 Corinthians 8 and verse 4, therefore concerning the eating of things sacrificed to idols, we know that there is no such thing as an idol in the world, and that there is no God but one. So Paul makes very clear, God is the only God. All this idol worship and stuff is not of God. And God's people are called to be lights, to help men and women come away from those idols and those forms of worship, that they might be saved, that they might be reconciled to God, that they might know the one who made them and for whom and who alone they should worship. The flourishing commerce of Corinth made it easier for Paul to support himself. So Paul could support himself really well in Corinth because there was so much happening. But something else Ellen White highlights really blessed me. It's on Sketches of the Life of Paul, page 99. It says this, an opportunity was thus presented for the spread of the gospel. Once established at Corinth, it would be readily communicated to all parts of the world. So God really wanted his servant in this bustling metropolis, because just imagine, if people are passing through, if they get saved, if they are led to Jesus Christ, and then they go out into their separate parts of the world, the gospel would spread. They would be salt and light wherever they went. So that gives us a little overview of Corinth, the place where the Apostle Paul. We cannot be afraid of the cities. We cannot be afraid of the challenging areas on our planet. God has called us to go, to be salt, to be light, and to share Jesus with them.